chooses. This is Western Mass News.
We're getting answers tonight after a concerned parent reached out to our newsroom regarding a recently proposed policy in the Ludlow Public Schools. Thanks everyone for joining us on this Thursday, and welcome to Western Mass News at 5. I'm Chris Pisano. This policy would dictate how and which books are approved to be kept in public school libraries. Western Mass News reporter Paris Dunford joining us live with the details. Paris.
Chris, that's right. We obtained that policy, and if passed by the Ludlow School Committee, it would dictate which books are allowed in Ludlow Public School libraries.
Western Mass News is getting answers after a concerned Ludlow parent reached out to our newsroom regarding a recently proposed library book policy. Their comment reads in part, quote, "There is a proposed library policy which was essentially copied from a PA school district and was influenced by the PA Family Institute. Many of us are concerned that this new policy will be used to ban LGBTQ books in the school system. We did some digging and found a policy had been made public after a Ludlow School Committee meeting on Tuesday night. The push for a new policy comes after some parents expressed concerns regarding what they call pornographic images and language in some of the books in school libraries."
Why the school permit pornography beyond me? Why do our schools want to expose our kids to pornography? Pornography, it's not a place in school.
The chair of the committee, Jeffrey Lang, expressed that this has been an ongoing issue for the past 5 or 6 years.
We had parents come in, familiar faces that are here now, brought it to our attention that there were books inside of the library that seemed inappropriate for kids in middle school.
The new policy was submitted by committee member Joao Diaz, and it would dictate how and which books are approved to be in Ludlow Public School libraries. Western Mass News obtained a copy of this policy after it was made public this week. The process for deciding which books will be in the libraries will be as follows. A district-level library supervisor of each school will give a recommended list of books to the school superintendent. After the superintendent's approval, that list will be provided to the school committee and posted publicly for 30 days, allowing parents, guardians, and employees to submit written comments on the recommended lists. Then the superintendent will make a final list recommendation considering the public comments and bring it to the school committee. The committee may accept or reject the list in whole or in part. This process will be done for every public school in Ludlow. The policy also lists restrictions for books, including books that have visual or written depictions of sexual acts or nude intimate parts. Ludlow School Committee member Diaz confirmed his policy was derived from a Pennsylvania school's policy. Western Mass News dug a little deeper and found Central Bucks School District policy in that state, adopted last July, that mirrors almost identically to the one proposed in Ludlow. We searched through the Central Bucks School Committee meeting minutes and found hundreds of parents speaking out in public comment, concerned about the committee's consideration of banning multiple books that do touch on LGBTQ topics.
Now, members of the Ludlow School Committee tell me they cannot discuss this policy any further until their next meeting, which is scheduled for May 23rd. At that meeting, they are set to discuss this policy, have public comment, and then at their following meeting, they will be voting on the policy. Reporting live in Ludlow, Paris Dunford for Western Mass News.
Paris,